Well, hey everybody. Just as a heads up, Rory and I tried recording this episode, and about halfway through, the audio got corrupted again, so we now know, don't use Rory's PC. We saved as much as we could, and that is this episode. Thank you, go fuck yourselves, and enjoy.
Da-na-na-na. 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 The Addams family started when Uncle Fester farted. They all became the Addams family.
What,
Na-na-na-na.
what wonderful people children were.
And we're back here on the Skimbo Lounge, and we're going to start with a little healthy debate. Rory, how are you doing today?
I am fine, thank you.
Excellent. First question is for you, Rory. Yeah. What do you plan to do with over 200,000 deaths in the United States due to the coronavirus? What is your plan to get us out of this quagmire? You have 30 seconds.
Well, the coronavirus pandemic is...
This guy can't even formulate a thought. Listen to him over here. Jesus Christ. He's just over here talking about like how much he loves his mother.
Got a 10
you don't love your mother.
Plan.
You had sex with your own mom.
I enjoy my mother.
We all
much.
know it. We all took pictures of it. I've got them right here on my iPad.
I love my mother very much.
They're on my Palm
sir?
Pilot. You don't
Look
even use
guy.
a Palm Pilot anymore.
If he were just...
You're a cuck.
Because he's got a
You don't
thing.
even know what that is. You like to watch your wife have sex with other men.
I don't understand
You can't prove that he doesn't.
Has to do with
you can't prove that he doesn't. You can't prove that he doesn't, and that's your time. I think that went well, Rory. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think that was really healthy. I think everyone learned a lot.
That was an exercise in democracy.
Democracy!
As it stands now.
Apparently. Yeah. No, that was really painful, I think, probably for everyone to listen to.
I can't wait, because I'll have to listen to it multiple times to pick out who was saying what.
Yeah, I really said nothing. I just kind of stammered like a dick.
So much like our president, then, even
Yes.
though I realized I was assuming the Trump role in that one.
Yeah, that's where we're at, though. He's the president.
For how much longer, Rory?
Well, I'm wondering. I mean, obviously, everybody at this point knows dude's got corona, so... I'm wondering how many more people are going to come out with it. I think that's what we really need to talk about more than anything. Because I want to do are we talking of all the people in this circle of the GOP, and let's do politicians at large. What number of people do you think are about to get the coronavirus and come out in the next couple of days? How many hands did old Trumpy shake before they were like, oh shit, stop shaking hands?
Well, they're calling that event in the Rose Garden a Superspreader event. And keep in mind, that's our government. That's not rednecks on wave riders out on Lake Havasu.
Yeah, it's not people burning down a forest over the gender reveal. It's that's our nation's leaders coming together.
This is who you elected.
Everyone's like, we need to be safe. I'm like, I don't know if we really need to be that safe. I think we're all fine. Oh God, all it took was one of them.
Daddy Trump, no.
Well, it just it's that 2-week gestation period. That's the fun part about the whole thing is how many of those people got it and passed it around. How many of them right now have it and are like, I'm fine. I'm special. I'm not going to be the zombie. I'm not going to get melded into the thing. And now they're just like giving it to their families and their kids are going out.
Bill Barr, who was at this super spreader event, has decided he doesn't need to quarantine.
It's so good.
So our attorney general is just out there, big dick baller, being like, nah, so I'm going to spit in your fucking mouth.
How old are you turning today? 90 years old. What a trooper. Show me the rest of the nursing home.
I'm going to kiss this old World War II battleship veteran right on the mouth.
Wow.
Thank him for his service.
So thank you to all the people down at the local nursing home for minors, black lung.
I want to thank Andrew Cuomo for letting me in here. He doesn't give a fuck about the elderly.
Let's all share a photo op and share this soda. I know most people are Coca-Cola. I'm a Pepsi man.
I know some people call it pop.
Here, someone take a sip off this.
Well, what are the totals at this point? Who's got it? We know Trump's got it. We know Melania's got it. We know Kellyanne Conway's got it, which I would have to mean then you'd have to believe.
Are we from this one particular event?
Well, these are all the people that just have it.
I think there was a senator that came out.
Mike Lee from Utah, I think.
Yep. There's several senators that are going to
Christie apparently has it. R.I.P. I'm calling it early, Rory. R.I.P. to Chris Christie.
You think Chris Christie's going to get taken out by the virus?
The man is a bag of gelatin.
Right. At this point, I think we do need to bring up something fairly important. Is the question of, is it okay to mock these people for having downplayed the virus this entire time and now beginning to succumb to it? Do we have to feel bad about that?
Can I answer your question with an anecdote?
Go on.
President Obama nominated Merrick Garland to be the next Supreme Court justice back in almost 2016 and almost end of his term, 2015.
Sure.
And the Republicans blocked the nomination because you can't elect a Supreme Court justice in an election year this close to an election.
Yeah, because all those people need to have their say about what they think should happen.
Sure. So they block Merrick Garland.
Yep. Trump wins the presidency.
Trump wins the presidency. He gets to put Neil Gorsuch in. He gets to put Brett Kavanaugh in. RBG dies. Now everybody's digging up the clips of that fucker Lindsey Graham. And
I
saying,
want you to quote me.
Use my words against me. First of all,
Which is so good.
Sidebar, I love that people on the down low call him Lady G because there's a long-standing rumor that he gets gay prostitutes, that he's just super closeted.
Oh, I mean, whatever, man. It's the future. Nobody cares.
Well, nobody cares. Everybody does care. They want to be able to use his hypocrisy against him.
Some people care.
But that being said, I don't think you can hurt him with hypocrisy. He clearly doesn't care because he said, use my words against me.
Yeah.
And then he completely flip-flopped and said, well, the Democrats would do it if the shoe was on if the Louboutin pump, which I've been eyeballing through the window at Sears, if it fits,
Just strut around your house a little bit. Close the blinds and just see how it feels.
Throw on a little Beyonce, that line, all up in the kitchen in my heels, dinner time.
It was Lindsey Graham. That's what got me kicked out of that subreddit once because I said he should die in a fire. Yeah.
Oh.
It was Lindsey Graham. That's who it was.
You insulted the Rose of the Carolinas? How dare you?
They did not take kindly to that at our politics.
Well, he's their kind of fucking scumbag, man. He fucking completely flipped. So all of that is to say, if they can get away with that, Rory, do you believe turnabout is fair play?
I kind of do, honestly, in this way. I don't think at a certain level you should be like, oh, it's so great that person died, whether they were a douchebag or not. But at the same time, I think that when you bring about a certain level of suffering in the world and openly mock that as being like, oh, well, you don't understand. It's really a little bit more of a nuanced political discussion. Like, no, people are dying. People are getting really sick. And all you guys had to do was take this seriously. And now it's coming back to bite you in the ass. And I, for one, don't give a shit. I think that the most obnoxious thing about it is you look at it and it's like, oh my God, the president got sick. And they just start like using, like, it's like in its clinical trials, the drug they're giving him.
I heard they were treating Trump with remdesivir, which is an antiviral.
Yeah.
But I, again, don't know if that's experimental or if it's an existing...
I had read something about the various companies that were making... they're not preventative. They are sort of the after you've got it, this is what you take to minimize.
Oh, it's the morning after pill of Corona?
Yeah. I mean, great. What a wonderful analogy. Thank you. But it's basically just the... I don't know what you say. It's like, oh, you've got it now. Now what do you do? Well, you can take this stuff to, help you with your cough and blah, blah. And like, it's very important when you have so many comorbidities as our president does, that he takes it very seriously and, yada, yada, yada. Of course, he's the president, so they're going to put him on like the newest, most effective thing that they can find. And they're like, oh, well, he's doing well. He's showing improvement. I'm like, it hasn't even started for him yet. It's like a 2-week process of him getting sick and hacking up his fucking lungs. And then it's the long-term effect when you have all of these other things and you have obesity and you're very unhealthy. And it just being like, well, guess what? Before we weren't really sure, but now we're certain that the president has diabetes from this. Because it's what happened. It fucked up his brain and his body. And, oh, look, now he can't put a sentence together properly. And he'll never taste again. Oh, no. Like all these horrible shit. Like, we'll never know, really. It'll be like fucking Ronald Reagan.
Well, yeah, it's conflicting reports already as to like what his actual condition is. Yeah, are you hearing like yourself kind of like flicker in and out of your left ear?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think that I'm a little bit better now.
Okay. Whew. Just wanted to make sure.
Good thing. You weren't going crazy. It's not Don't worry. The people at home, they are the ones who think we're crazy now because they won't hear any of
They're like,
what
oh,
we
these
say.
guys are fucking talking about politics again. Guys, we're doing a death pool, okay?
Well, that's, what it come down to, and I just wanted to cover us a little bit on the front end. We understand it's a very nuanced argument. You need to be respectful. And actually, not really. I
Yeah,
don't give a
hey,
shit about
that's
Jim.
the president. And it's like, I don't know if that argument carries water in this case. And if that's truly how you feel, then may I pivot back to noted whale Chris Christie.
I just want to say at this time, too, like if there's a million people who can yell at minimum wage workers about their freedoms in a supermarket, then you guys can let me talk shit about the president.
Well, when fucking RBG died, everyone was like, fucking finally.
Yeah, if it's their people, look at the fucking, I don't understand why everyone's, look at all the bad stuff she did. And you're like, didn't she just died? And again, right after the president dies, I'll wait a little while before I start cracking jokes about
I can't make that
about
same
rats
promise.
dying eating him because of all the orange spray tan on him.
I'm going to pull a him and just be like, I'm sorry, but I
All
like
neon
my
orange
presidents
worms.
as guys who don't die from a fake virus.
Okay, I think that's pretty good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, maybe we want to take bets now. Do you think the president is going to succumb to the Roni or not? I'm going to go ahead and say that 2020 has been very cruel to us, and I don't think it's going to let up at the end, so I think he's going to survive.
Well, I also believe 2020 has been cruel to us, which is why I believe your choice in November is going to come down to Joe Biden and Mike Pence.
Oh, you think it's going to go down?
Pinch hitting.
I don't think they're going to let the president die. I don't think so.
They're gonna try to not let him die, but he's so good at everything. He does everything so big, so he'll probably die big too.
So you'll say he'll be the biggest death the corona ever had, the fakest virus
It
never
was huge,
was.
tremendous. My death rattle could be heard for miles.
I've gone cross-eyed.
I caked the bed and shit.
Oh my god.
I pooped the bed worse than that podcaster.
Well, it just makes me wonder, is the rest of his family about to go down? Not Barron.
Oh, sweet Baron,
Not
so tall.
Barron. He doesn't deserve it. He was I didn't ask to be born, says young Barron Trump.
I actually hate my dad.
He just wants to hang out and dab.
I want to do dabs, and I want to do the dab.
Secretly, he's just, I don't know how old is he, 8 or 9, just tripping balls on acid.
Have you seen how freakishly tall that fucking kid is?
No.
Because Trump's not a short man, unfortunately.
To be fair, I've never been one of those people who like gave a shit about like celebrity children and all that crap.
Well, no, but I mean, the internet latched onto his height pretty readily. I would
Okay,
have thought
pervert.
it would have come across 4chan and you would have
Whatever.
seen it.
Oh yeah.
Or excuse me, 8kun.
I've hung out with all my buddies on 8kun. Just talking about swine farms in the Philippines.
Rory and the rest of his buddies saying their favorite 6-letter words on there.
Sorry guys, one of the sows had diarrhea and we lost all of the politically incorrect subreddit.
Oh!
Whatever, not subreddit, but it's a whole board we lost because of.
Can I take a prop
diarrhea.
bet, too?
Okay,
Let's assume that
why not?
Trump survives. Well, you know what? Let's just limit it to the GOP. And boy, what a grand old party it must have been out in the Rose Garden. I hope it was fucking worth it, y'all.
Mhm.
But do we think that the coronavirus thing helps him in the elections?
Here's the thing.
Or do we think it damages him?
I really don't know if there's anybody who's on the fence at this point anymore. It's hard to tell. It's hard to say what middle America looks like right now.
Well, because look how sure we were about President Hillary Clinton, you know?
How polarized do you think? Well, I'm not even talking about that. I mean, like how polarized undecided voters might have become or not. Like I don't know if I've met a lot of people like, well, Joe Biden sure does seem like the whole Sleepy Joe thing, but Trump's also kind of an idiot and he fucked up the corona. Like it's never a conversation like that. I think it's one way or the other. You think it's like, oh, this was all China's fault. And you kind of deflect away from Trump and his responsibility, which confuses me because you'll notice a lot of those people, the same people are like, Obama fucked up and you're just like, you can't have it both ways. It's either his responsibility or it's not. But we're getting off topic. I don't think that there's a lot of people who are undecided about this election.
No, definitely not.
particularly. So whether him getting the coronavirus or not is going to, I think all it does is it's another thing you can change the message with. That's it. It just becomes another, look how well he's fighting it. He's so strong. Look at him sign those blank pieces of paper.
He's just scribbling all over Burger King coupons at Walter Reed. That's the thing, man, is it's either going to be, see, the virus is no big deal. He was able to hold it down and fuck it into submission like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. Look at our president. Look how strong. This virus was goddamn nothing.
It's going to be everything.
He's going to be a hero for surviving it.
There's people online who have gone so far as to be like, how did the Democrats give him this? Seriously. How is it their fault? that's how crazy politics have gotten in this country.
That's just good politics.
It's crazy. It scares me. It really does.
Well, it's just fucking great. Like, you have to love that, like, nobody actually cares about, like, they're going to take my guns away. I think poor people should have Medicare.
It's not even about that anymore.
It's just about winning. It's literally just about, like, my guy won.
Anyone who watched the debate, I was scared when the moderator asked Trump, if you lose, are you going to take the results seriously and honestly? Are you going to accept them? And he was like, the whole thing's a fraud. It's a sham. It hasn't even happened yet. And he's already calling it bullshit if he loses.
But then if he wins, is it still a fraud and a sham?
A fraud
yeah.
No, then it's the fucking best thing in the world and everyone else is upset. We did it even though it was so overwhelming for me that we won in spite of them trying to rig it in their favor.
See, I think Chris Wallace, if he wanted to get a hold of that fucking debate, he should have just threatened to kill himself in front of them. Mr. President, if you don't stop talking over Mr. Biden, I'm going to shoot myself on your lawn.
Do it. You won't. You don't have the guts. You don't have the guts, Chris.
Your father was a better journalist.
Yeah, you do it right there.
God damn it, you know I have daddy issues.
They were going to do that for the next debate. They were going to mute their mics in between. You get 2 minutes, other guy can't fucking say anything. I don't know how you're going to keep him from yelling. Put him in a fucking bulletproof box. We forgot to drill holes, and the candidates are suffocating.
Oh, dear.
Oh, there they are. And just on live television, you're watching them both claw at their throats.
There appears to be an earwig in Mr. Biden's glass coffin.
Not unlike the scene in Game of Thrones with young Joffrey.
Oh, boy.
Look at him go.
Oh, jeez.
We could have unlocked those in time, but boy, what a show.
Here's my big question coming
Up next,
out of this.
Big Bang Theory.
Be sure to tune in to young Sheldon, who has been cleared of all charges. He was not on Epstein's Island, no matter what you heard. That's what I wonder about. Speaking of Epstein's Island, are they going to do? They're doing virtual Burning Man this year. Are they going to do virtual Bohemian Grove?
Virtual Burning Man?
Yo, yeah.
How is virtual Burning Man going to work? Everyone just kind of hangs out in front of their computer taking drugs?
You just like take some drugs and light a fire in your
Check
living
it
room.
out.
Yeah.
I made this miniature horse out of balsa wood and tiny gears.
How are they all going to fuck? You know, that's a big part of the ethos at Burning Man is just sex with strangers.
Taking drugs and fucking strangers.
Yeah.
Come back to my tent and will help me get the sand out of some things.
Come to my fuck yard.
You got to imagine. Just like, yeah, I've been here for 10 years. I'm like, never mind. Doing this for 10 years out in the woods with a bunch of dirty strangers.
I'm never more myself than when I'm at the burn. Yeah, my stepbrother and his wife now, they do Burning Man pretty frequently. Yeah,
they frequent the burn.
They help set it up. Like, they are the people that show up early. Like, can we help put up
Hey, Paul.
the big effigy?
Call me Star Child. I'm at the burn. Hey, Star Child.
That's better.
Hey.
Yeah, so I don't know. They're
riding by on a 1908 bike, just one of those
the
huge
big front
wheels.
wheel.
Dressed up like a steampunk cowboy.
with just assless chaps.
Yep.
I mean, it's sad. It's sad for those people. But that's what I want to know. Is Bohemian Grove going to go virtual, especially in spite
Absolutely
of all
not.
that's happened?
The one thing I've learned in the past couple weeks is that the rich and powerful think that they are insulated from bad things happening to them. I don't get it. I have spent nine days out of every 10 hanging out by myself, doing nothing this entire year. Because I'm like, well, you got to social distance, you got to stay away. I'll go and hang out with 2 to 3 people max, maybe at the most 5. And you see all these, again, I see fucking videos of people I know who are back in cities, like hanging out on fucking rooftop bars. There's 150 other fucking people there, and you're just like, what is this shit? I don't understand how everyone's getting away with this crap.
Well, it all comes down to the mask. As long as you've got the mask, you're safe.
Hooray!
You've got a pass.
I just don't, and again, half of these people aren't wearing masks, though. And you look at, especially, again, when you look at these events that are with these people who are getting sick now, you're like, what did you think was going to happen?
Well, I'm really curious about Vermont because I do believe restaurants just went back up to 100% capacity.
Oh,
so
boy.
You're not that far from other people at this point, laughing and whooping it up, and you know, you hit on the waitress and she's like, you cisgendered piece of shit, and she hacks into your Cobb salad. Like,
yeah,
you know,
and there you go. COVID. Because essential workers, they're the people who, it was always the most counterintuitive idea from the whole fucking thing from the coronavirus. Like, Everyone has to stay inside, except for these people who can't afford to stay inside. And, like, they're also the people who are in contact with the rest of us.
We can't close Target, so
Like,
you need to be here.
It's a weird thing when you see it in a rural area like this, again, with stores. But when you're in the city, there's like all of these, there's like the Uber Eats and the Grubhub and Seamless. And they're just these connections between every place in the fucking city. And none of those people can afford to take time off. None of theirs, like, there's no central office for Grubhub to be sent home from.
Yeah, my DoorDash guy just showed up in a fucking diaper. Like, he does not get to go home or to the restaurant in between deliveries. He's just got a tower, like a wacky stack of pizzas.
Well, it's like one of those things where they tell you on the one hand, they're like, well, you feel bad because it's like these people are doing it and you want to like give them a good tip and quote support them. But at the same time, they also would probably get to stay home if you stop fucking ordering from them.
You also might be tipping them to give you the coronavirus.
Yeah, you also might be, you might be doing a nice handoff. Like, oh, but it's contactless and all this other stuff. I'm like, I got to a point again where I'm pretty sure that one of the persons that I got was just trying to get fired. They just took my food and never delivered it.
Oh, that's classic. Was that Seamless or DoorDash?
It was Seamless. It happened a couple of times, and I stopped ordering from them, like right towards the end of my living in the city.
That's classic Dash. Seamless should be better than that.
I think they are owned by the same company now, or Grubhub owns Seamless now.
Yeah.
And it's all a big conglomerate. Big Delivery wants you to think that they're separate. It's like Standard Oil back in the 20s and 30s when they
you just lost our audience hard. They're like, you had me with food, and then you started talking about old-timey oils.
Watch out for Chevron! Why do you think the price of gas goes up in uniform? Don't you understand?
Do you think we can we finally go back to treating essential workers like shit?
No.
I just want to go to
not.
Hannaford and yell in a woman's face.
Just want to yell. How dare you set up that blouse that way? My friend died in 9/11.
These apples are mealy.
Sir, this is a Walmart. Yeah.
I know.
You should have the freshest produce.
I should be free to spread my germs here. I don't know.
I don't think it ever stopped for those people. I think for the kind of people who like to harass service workers, I don't think they ever stopped. I think that the internet just got better. It's like police brutality, and I hate to compare the two, but we just got better at recording it. Somehow, society normalized and got more comfortable with filming shitty people in public doing shitty things. There are whole areas on the internet now dedicated to the whole fuck you Karen movement. And I just am so happy.
I'm of two minds of it, because on the one thing, my personal code, man's got to have a code. And my personal code is don't rat.
Sure.
I don't like to rat unnecessarily. Like, if I know that someone's about to come, give you the COVID, and I gotta do something about it. But it's like I was saying like 2 or 3 pods ago, where it's like you're in the grocery store and you see someone without a mask. Like, why do you have to instigate? That person?
Why do you have to be the guy who follows
an asshole? Them? Yeah. But on the other side of the coin, it's deeply satisfying to watch some guy in white sunglasses get really upset
have
because
a fucking temper tantrum.
Someone is trying to tread on him. Yeah.
And just screaming. I guess I get where you're coming from. I'm never going to be the guy who follows the person through the store. Mm-hmm. But if a woman or a guy were to be at like checkout and they're like, I'm sorry, we're not. Like the store rules to have a mask on, and like store policy is that even if you get here and you're not wearing the mask, like I'm not going to serve you. Just check my items out and blah. And like they just start going off. I have rights and freedoms, and like not understanding that they're in a private store that's privately owned that can set whatever fucking rules it wants. I'm sorry, sir. No silly hats within Walmart. You must leave. It was just a cowboy hat. This is Vermont, sir. You're wearing a cowboy hat. Get out. I have freedoms. Yeah, we have the freedom to kick you the fuck out.
I have rights. Galaga.
Yeah.
Galaga.
Galaga.
Sir, I think you mean Galaga. Galaga's a video game. Fuck you.
Great reference. I did not die in Vietnam, sir. Of course not. Yeah, that's right. I said I did not die in Vietnam.
I did not watch my friends die face down in a rice paddy.
So I could come here and make this Mitch Hedberg reference.
Weren't you in the Coast Guard in Michigan during Vietnam? That is besides the point. I did not watch my friends die face down in a rice paddy.
I was in Fallujah last year.
I smoked hash out of a human skull.
On vacation.
These are all besides the point. Oh, important question. Do you think there are COVID bug chasers out there?
What do you mean? Like trying to get it?
Well, yeah, there's a subculture sexually of people who are like, I want AIDS. I want the clap. Do you think there are
what a horrible
COVID
fucking
groupies
thing.
out there?
Well, I think there's a lot. I think it'd probably be like pox parties. where you are trying to get your kid the chicken pox so that you can get it over with.
But it's just a bunch of people trying to kill their grandparents.
It's just all right, Gam, get in this room with these unruly 9-year-olds.
Goodness, we're going to listen to some Perry Como records.
And then they just slip a Barney DVD in and run like a grenade. The kids just run and scream and just cough everywhere.
You just throw pepper in the kids' faces. They're just sneezing like crazy.
2 weeks later, you're cleaning out Gam's house, and you finally got your hands on that grandfather clock you've been staring at since you were that age.
I've been admiring that creepy ceramic
You
cat.
sick fuck.
That was the one thing I got when my great-grandma passed away.
What's that?
This creepy, unblinking ceramic cat. It was
That's
terrifying. I didn't like going to her little apartment. She lived in that little, like, old person's independence home, which is, such a sweet lie to placate them. But it was that, like, weird retirement castle down by the Mutua.
Yep.
She lived there, and it just stank like death and soup.
You want weird?
Lipton's and voided bowels.
So where I used to live growing up, like when we were real young, over on Hill Street drop name, that was the house that my grandparents owned before my parents owned it. And then a car hit the side of it, and we were like, we should move. And right around that time, my great-grandfather had passed away, and his house was up for sale. And we moved into it. It's this house. It's this house that I'm currently in. That was owned by my great-grandfather.
I'm just waiting for you to hit the wood paneling behind you, and it just opens like a Murphy bed, and it's just Grandpa's skeleton.
Poof, clack. Yeah, that'd be fucked up.
We did this
Inside
to
the
honor
walls.
him.
You ever heard of the cask of Amontillado? It was just
For the love of God, Montresor.
great Uncle Wendell is boarded up somewhere in here, and
You
you
just lost our audience again.
Still, here's what for the reference to the dark.
To Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe?
The Cask of Amontillado. They're like, who the fuck?
Maybe. I'd like to think some people got that deep reference.
Yeah,
some
definitely
some
definitely not
literature
Tanner.
major out there. Ha ha! Zoinks!
Oh, well met, Skimbo Lounge. Now, hopefully you'll talk about Upton Sinclair's The Jungle next.
Ooh. Oh, poor Upton Sinclair. You thought it was going to be a revolution. People were going to be upset about, like, worker rights. And instead they were like, meat, horse meat! And it just revolutionized the food packing industry. See, there's an Upton Sinclair.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh,
This is a very heady pod.
poor bastard. Just think about how depressing that would be. I wrote this book. People are going to start treating people better. Instead of like, yeah, we got to label our cans better. People are so fucked up.
Their frozen processed lasagna meals have horse in it, and they are not excited.
Thanks, Upton Sinclair. And it's just a statue of him holding a report that he did on the meaning of his book, looking incredulous. Like, what the fuck?
The CEO of Chef Boyardee is like, we're going to get him someday. We have to stop putting possum in the ravioli.
Damn you for raising awareness, Skimbo Lounge.
When's the last time you ate cold Chef Boyardee out of the can?
I've never eaten cold Boyardee out of the can. I have always just been able to be like, it's 3 fucking minutes in a microwave. I was always more of a SpaghettiOs man myself.
Yeah.
If I'm going for like the canned childhood lunches, like SpaghettiOs was my jam.
Well, my parents loved me, so
Cook
that's,
that
you
shit
know.
for like another 50 seconds, and you've got lava soup. And
For an hour. You cook it for a minute to get the fucking SpaghettiOs to be an acceptable temperature. But if you go a minute and 1 second, you can't eat it for an hour.
you just gotta keep stirring it. Let me throw some crackers in there or something. Make it.
You melt the fucking spoon.
Yeah, so good though. Just watching that. Let's see what's on Nick Jr. I got the day off because I'm sick from something that's not wiping out the rest of society and
right.
culture. God damn it.
I don't have to be on a ventilator that was built by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Ooh, Fraggle Rock. What a treat.
Oh my God. I don't know.
That was my childhood, is watching the Disney Channel scrambled like early porn.
I might see that Xenon girl's feet.
Yeah. Oh my God, look, I think I can follow the plot. You still get the audio. So I'm sure somewhere there was a blind family out there during the 90s like, we're not missing anything at all. This is great.
That's great. It's a little
You
snowy.
can still hear there's a little bit of a twinge to the audio.
I don't know. I'll tell you another thing that I've been thinking a lot about.
More than scrambled.
More than
Scrambled
scrambled
television?
Disney and more than the coronavirus, honestly.
Okay.
Is I think we're forgetting about WAP. Or WAP.
Yeah.
The song. Whatever you want to do.
Good fix there.
WAP, 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 WAP. I'm Italian. I can say it. There you go, guinea. Wop.
Fuck you. I got this tiny little switchblade.
That's our word. I think people didn't do enough with WAP. Ben Shapiro kind of trucked it. Like, we never got to do, like, on the pod, Bad Pacino doing WAP. Like, that's a whole bit. A certified freak, 7 days a week. Wet ass pussy. Got that pull-out game weak.
Well, so you just did it, so now it's not. There it is.
But it just
now you have
feels
nothing to be upset about.
It feels irrelevant. It feels like the moment has passed it by now, and everyone's going to go, they're making a WAP joke.
Well, you see,
in October.
It's what Aldous Huxley used to talk about in a sort of dystopian society. See, we have a little bit of an Orwellian society, but we also have a little bit of that Aldous Huxley shit going on.
A little Brave New World, is that what you're talking
which
about?
is the problem. It's just that there's so much. I don't even know if it was Brave New World, but it was. I
The
can't
Doors
remember.
of Perception?
I can't remember which one it is. There's so much shit going on you don't know what to pay attention to because you're constantly bombarding your senses. It's not just that we're being monitored like what Orwell was afraid of, or them changing the narrative, kind of like what Animal Farm was, which is very interesting right now politically.
Yes.
But it was more of the sense of, what do you pay attention to, and there being so much that even the important stuff, there's something else important you should be paying attention to right after it because it's all happening so immediately. Especially technology, everything moves such a quick fucking pace now. You look at that stupid chart that somebody made, it was like world-changing shit, and there's the wheel. And then nothing fucking happens for like 500 years, and so it's like, holy shit, someone figured out irrigation. It's blowing people's minds. You can move this water around so it's not stagnant. Look there's less mosquitoes. And then it's 250 years, but now it's every couple of weeks someone's like, holy shit, we've got this thing so that people can get over their fear of falling with VR, and look at this, depressed people are taking psilocybin mushrooms and crying a lot and they're feeling better about war, and all this crazy shit is advancing, but at a certain point you can't. So of course nobody's paying attention to the wet ass pussy song anymore.
Well, that's fucking stupid. That was a gift. That was a gift from two thick goddesses.
That's what I'm trying to
And we squandered it.
Well, there's going to be another one that's going to come along very soon.
Look,
I'm sure.
cancer will cure itself. We need sequels to WAP, and we need them now.
Cancer's going to cure itself pretty soon.
We need hard-ass penis, I think would be a good follow-up.
It's going to be people doing weird, fucked up studies on that jellyfish that never dies.
Go on.
And then they'll somehow splice it into human DNA. But it'll go terribly wrong. Instead of zombies, we'll end up with like the walking jellyfish. Oh, those little tentacles! They hurt real bad. You get stung by a jellyfish. Like, have you ever seen those videos of what a jellyfish sting does when it like goes into your skin?
Well, it's like a crazy barb.
It's like this crazy barb that goes in. It's this super long tendril, and it emits like an electrical signal that just like fucking shocks your nerves.
Has multiple hooks in it, yeah.
You just don't get it out.
Listen, as bad as it felt when I smashed my elbow against the chair a couple pods ago,
ooh,
and it just
tingly
lit up my entire arm.
At least 3 times worse than that.
You get the tingling, and then you get the fucking burning. The burning, persistent numbness. Your hand feels like it's full of hot sand.
What is it you're supposed to put on it? Meat tenderizer or something?
What?
Yeah, there's something you're supposed to put on, like when you get stung by a jellyfish. You're supposed to pop.
I thought you were supposed to piss on it.
I think that might be just funny for like some longshoreman. Someone's like, look at the land boys.
We
over
calls
there
it insult to injury.
peeing on one another. You just gotta rub this starfish in.
We told you not to go digging around in the seas, wet ass pussy.
You take some Crisco and you shove it up your arse. You had a little British in there at the end.
I like it. Arse. Good word.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was something like that, like meat tenderizer or some weird thing. You get stung by a jellyfish and you poof.
News to me.
Throw some of that on there. I'm going to look it up later. Hope I'm not bullshitting this time. Wasn't bullshitting last time.
Well, we'll find out.
Someone look it up and comment right now.
Emily
now.
Machado, text me right now.
Leave a comment right there and tell me if it's true or not. Nobody uses the comments anymore. No one uses. I mean, maybe they're not listening on SoundCloud. Maybe you're listening on one of those other fine platforms.
I think so. Because I noticed when Jeff and I started our pod out on that line, which you should all be listening to and following.
Douche.
When we started that, I mean, our first week when we were only on SoundCloud, we got a lot of listens, and then it dropped off as soon as we got on Spotify and iTunes. So I think people have, they're spreading the love.
People listening on other evil conglomerates. Very interesting.
Oh, you have to feed them all.
How exciting. I'd like to think that there's someone at each of those companies that is forced to listen to every podcast that comes through for content to make sure that it's something where it's like, we don't completely shit on it and they just hate us.
Some intern got ours and is being radicalized. To do what? I don't know. To gain 60 pounds?
Yeah. Gain 60 pounds and move home. You don't need them. You don't need Apple.
Thanks, Skimbo Lounge. Thank you. Go fuck yourselves. And goodbye.